or anything. Do tell us what you think. Just have a look at the BBC World Service Facebook site. Add your comments. We're also going to be hearing from experts, from pundits, and from some people who really have a link in to the mindset of the people who are rioting. Take Kast, for example. He sees it as a plea for help. Jay is a youth worker in East London, and he says that 5 years ago, given his own background, he would have been out rioting himself.
When you're young and you're growing up in the culture that I came through at 19, 18, 20 years old, you have a lot of frustrations within yourself that a lot of the time you don't know how to solve, don't know how to better yourself. You don't know how to communicate, with whether it be the government or the police or, higher authorities or your community leader or so on and so forth to get to where you want to be. So a lot of the time the frustration doesn't always come out in words or, it isn't always channeled down the right avenues that I now do at 25 years old. So those ages, a lot of my reactions came out through violence or fighting or argument, that sort of thing.
So when you look at people rioting now, and I understand that you actually know some of the people who are taking part in your area, what do you think about why they're doing it?
I think, and maybe I've got a completely different view to everyone else, and I seem to have at the moment, but my personal opinion is if you read between the lines of what's happening, it's a cry for help. Although a lot of them, if you were to ask them, they probably wouldn't be able to sit there and articulately explain why they're doing it. But within themselves, there's a feeling of pain, there's a feeling of anger, there's a feeling of resent towards the police, there's a feeling of not achieving what they know they can achieve.
Now, a lot of the education czars, the pundits, the government people we've been hearing from on the BBC say that that's not the case, that this is about a lack of discipline.
I think personally there's not enough compassion from the government at the moment. I think that's a key mistake they've made over the past couple of days.
How do you be compassionate with people who are setting buildings alight, regardless of whether there might be someone inside them?
Because as a whole, the government, the educational system, whoever it may be, there's a slight responsibility which I feel they need to take on board and say, how have we possibly let down these youth so they've now become these thugs, these people that are mindless and doing these criminal activities? It's not like they've just brought them all in on one big boat from the Amazon jungle. They've been here for how many years, growing up in the communities, and they've now become like this. They don't understand that, we need to work for this. This government, this country doesn't owe us anything. We need to pull our own socks up. They believe, wow, look, that's there. We can loot that. We can take this. We should have that. And there's a sense of we should have rather than, maybe we need to get out of work. Maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to do that. But
you're describing a lack of education and a strong sense of entitlement.
Yeah, I believe. But when I say education, I don't necessarily mean, maths and your GCSEs. I mean just general basic living.
Morals, how to behave.
That's it, exactly that. And I'm a strong believer of these things being taught to the youth from early, within schools, within the schools. And I understand that should be taught from the parents, but if the parents don't teach them, then are we just going to say, all right, no one's ever going to teach them? And when we have said that in the past, this is what's happened. These riots are the product of that.
That was Jay Kast, youth worker. Do you agree with him, or do you think that's absolute rubbish and we need a hard tack? Let us know what you think on the BBC World Service Facebook page.
Now, photographs of